Will Bosi has sent Sleepwalker, one of America's most iconic boulder problems, located in Black Velvet Canyon near Las Vegas, Nevada. Will just recently arrived to the US and made incredibly quick work of Sleepwalker, sending it on the first go of his third session. In this video, we'll take a look at what Will has to say about his send, as well as his thoughts on the grade not quite being V16 or 8C+. We'll also talk about progress from American climbers Nathan Williams and Noah Wheeler on return of the Sleepwalker, the V17 or 9A sit start to Sleepwalker, and Will Bosi's own plans to begin working on the sit start of this boulder problem. My name is August, welcome to August Climbing. I'm so glad that you've joined in today. Being from the US, it's pretty cool that we get to talk about this exciting news happening on one of America's most difficult boulders. You can check out this video for more context and background on return of the Sleepwalker and Will's first session on the boulder. But for now, let's jump right in, starting with Will's session 2 on Sleepwalker. From January 19th on Will's broadcast channel, he says, "Day 2 was incredible. I started out by reclimbing the top half, which felt fairly chill. Then I repeated each bottom half move, and to my surprise, they all felt way better. So I decided to go from the start and fell straight away on the sloper move, taking my goal of 2 overlapping halves. Every go from there, I felt better and stronger on the moves, and about 2 hours later, I stuck the sloper. Did the next 2 moves well, and just before I went for the last hard move, my hand slipped. I managed to stick the sloper twice more, but not as well. But considering I had a 4-hour session and still felt like I had a chance, I'm hoping I'll get the send next session after some rest. Reel coming soon again." So even in session 2, Will nearly send Sleepwalker. He's making very quick work of this boulder. Let's take a look at the reel that he mentioned. Also from January 19th, Will writes on Instagram, "Day 2 on Sleepwalker V16/8C+. Crazy day with massive progress. Not only was I able to do the first half link, I was able to stick the sloper and felt like I would send. But somehow, even in a dry, cold desert, I still sweat like crazy." We see Will working his way up Sleepwalker, looking really strong, sticking that sloper with his right hand, getting his left hand up to match. Then he's about to throw for the next move and his left hand dry fires. What I love most about this is he's still smiling and having a great time, even after falling off. That's something we can all learn from. And now for the exciting session 3 update. From January 21st, Will says, "Somehow rain followed me to the desert, so my plan to rest 2 days was cut short, and I was only able to have a very quick third session yesterday. However, it was a very good session, and I've now done all the moves on the sit. So I've got some exciting news coming out soon. Warming up, I repeated each stand move, and they all felt super chill, so I got ready and went for a send go. Post soon." So even with Will not getting to rest as long as he wanted, he still had an incredible third session, completing all of the moves on the sit start. I'm uncertain if he means that he linked all the moves on the sit start or if he just did them individually. But either way, some massive progress, and he alludes to this send attempt on Sleepwalker. So let's look at his post, also from January 21st. "Sleepwalker V15/8C, check. First go on day 3. So psyched to send this incredible boulder onto the sit. Grade-wise, I will talk more in either my broadcast or YouTube, but personally, I don't think it's V16/8C+, so I decided to take V15/8C for it." In these 2 photos, we see Will sticking that left-hand sloper and then bumping it over to the better hold. This is presumably from his send go, and hopefully he'll post the send footage soon, perhaps on his YouTube channel. But Will sends Sleepwalker in just 3 sessions. That's wild. And he offers his take here that Sleepwalker is V15, not V16. We could do an entire video reviewing all of the grade-based comments that ensued on his Instagram post. Some folks, of course, very upset about Will's suggested downgrade, but most people noting that climbers giving their honest opinion about the grade is how we reach consensus over time. In other words, if this felt like a V15 to Will Bosi, it's perfectly fine for him to share just that. American climber Noah Wheeler weighed in on Instagram saying, "Will thought it felt 8C, and there is a lot of merit to that. There's no ill will in these decisions, and there's no rational reason any relative shift of this climb's grade should be an upsetting prospect for people." I don't know about you, but I've never personally sent Sleepwalker, so I can't say much about the grade. And actually, the real news here is not Will's downgrade of Sleepwalker, but where he chose to celebrate afterwards. That's right, IHOP. I'm glad to see that Will is sampling some of the very best cuisines that America has to offer. You earned it, Will Bosi. Congratulations. And we're excited to see where you can take things as you shift your focus to Return of the Sleepwalker. But Will Bosi isn't the only climber working on this V17 sit start to Sleepwalker. On January 19th, American climber Nathan Williams shared an exciting update. Let's see what he says on Instagram. Getting there. Crux of this thing for me right now is finding the balance of not being numb while also having my skin dry enough to not be too sweaty. My right ring finger and pinky felt extremely sore this session, and I didn't feel like they were engaging like they usually do. Hopefully after a few rest days, they'll feel better. In this video, we see Nathan climbing all the way from the sit start and getting up to this point where he sticks the right-hand sloper. This appears to be his best attempt yet, as a previous video in April of last year shows him essentially slapping the right-hand sloper, but not actually sticking it. And since he says, hopefully after a few rest days, it appears that he's actively working on this boulder problem. We learned from Nathan's comment on Will Bosi's post that they've been climbing out there together. And hopefully after the rain subsides, they'll be out there again, projecting this sit start together and sharing beta with each other. Next, we've got American climber Noah Wheeler, who recently sent Sleepwalker and then began projecting Return of the Sleepwalker as well. Let's see what he says on Instagram from January 19th. Send footage of Sleepwalker. My trip has come to an end. After spending the first 3 days on Sleepwalker, I spent a remaining 4 individual days on the sit. Return of the Sleepwalker V17. Suffice to say, I did better than I had expected, linking into the stand pretty quickly, and even sticking the sloper from the start on my last day. If you would like to see footage of my process, a video will be posted on at Wheel Rock soon. I'm excited to come back as soon as possible, hopefully with an amount of time conducive to the longer periods of rest I feel are requisite for the boulder, but we're lacking in this trip. The fatigue really creeps up on you when you're projecting Return of the Sleepwalker. Either way, I've learned a ton about projecting, in tactics, and especially in try-hard attitude this trip. Psyched to translate that into sessions back home as well. From the comments, we learned that Nathan and Noah were sessioning this boulder together. It also appears that Noah reached a very similar high point as compared to Nathan, getting from the start to the right-hand sloper. Definitely check out Noah's recent video on this from his channel, Wheel Rock. I'll post a link to that in the description. For now, Noah's trip has come to an end, but hopefully he'll get back out there again soon to continue projecting Return of the Sleepwalker. All I can say is, kids these days. It's really cool to see these young climbers projecting these incredibly hard boulders, and just imagine with time the next level they'll be able to bring our sport to. My name is August. Thank you so much for watching.